Gentlemen, and welcome. We'll get our program rolling now. The Honorable Kumbise Kandodo Chiponda, MP, Minister of Health in the Republic of Malawi. Dr. Samson Ndolo, Secretary for Health. Dr. Felix Pensulo, Director of Nutrition. Your Excellency Fiona Ritchie, British High Commissioner to Malawi. Professor Emmanuel Kaunda, Vice Chancellor of the Lilongwe University of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Professor Sunita Kadiala, ANH Academy from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. Joe Yates, also from ANH Academy, London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. The entire membership of the ANH Academy from all around the world, whether you are from Africa, Europe, Asia, South America, North America, the Indian subcontinent, Australia, or indeed any corner of the world, you're most welcome. Distinguished invited guests from various institutions, locally and elsewhere around the globe, welcome. The media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity to welcome those of you that reside outside of the mother continent of Africa, and I extend a welcome to you to the continent of Africa. Those of you that live in Africa but outside Malawi, welcome to Malawi, the warm heart of Africa. Those of you that live in Malawi but you do not live in Lilongwe, welcome to the capital of our country. Those of you that live in Lilongwe, but do not live at BICC, because nobody lives here. And therefore, all I mean is that you're most welcome to the Bingo International Convention Center. This is Malawi's capital. The government is just seated 2 or 3 kilometers away from here. This is the center of our country. And we're very proud to be able to host this event and welcome everyone. We are at an elevation of 1,028 meters above sea level, so we are kind of floating away from the sea, as you may imagine. But some of you come from higher elevations or lower elevation. We are equalizing today by having everyone at 1,028 meters above sea level. Here at BICC, we are gathered to share knowledge on what's out there. What's out there in the interrelated disciplines of agriculture, nutrition, and health. And therefore gathered here and online from all around the world, some of the best minds in terms of agriculture, nutrition, and health are here. This is a community of researchers, community of practitioners, community of policymakers. We are all gathered in Malawi in the month of June, and you're most welcome. My role is to moderate the program, and I would like to, at this moment, to invite 2 colleagues from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. These are Sunita Kadiala and Joe Yates. Both of them are from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine and at the center of running the ANH Academy. Professor Sunita Kadiala is a professor of global nutrition at LSHTM. And I checked online. If you want to find her in London, she's in room 133B. That's what I found out. These days, you cannot hide anywhere around the world. We welcome you, Sunita. Please come over on the podium. We welcome Joe Yates. Joe is a great friend of this country. He's visited our country many, many times, and in the months leading to this conference, he's been in our country many, many times, and we're always very, very delighted to welcome you again, Joe. Every time you're among us, we feel you are very Malawian. Please welcome on board. Joe is a research fellow and co-director of the ANH Academy. The 2 of them are going to coordinate the next event, and then I'll come on later on. But right now, we welcome Professor Sunita Kadiala. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Professor Alexander. I was told that he was a fantastic orator, and we have already got a sneak peek of that. Thank you very much for that kind introductions and a welcome and agreeing to MC for the day. Honorable Minister of Health, Kumbize Chaponda, Honorable Halima Daudi, Deputy Minister of Health, UK's High Commissioner to Malawi, Fiona Ricci, Vice Chancellor of LUANAR, Professor Emmanuel Kwanda, members of the ANH Academy gathered here today and online. Good morning. My name is Sunita Kadiala, as you all have been introduced, Professor of Global Nutrition at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. I'm here with my colleague Joe Yates, who co-leads the Agriculture, Nutrition and Health Academy with me, and several colleagues who are all around helping organize this event. As the co-leads of the Agriculture, Nutrition and Health Academy, and on behalf of the ANH Academy with partners in Malawi and globally, and this event's scientific and logistic committees, it's our honor to welcome you all to this 8th Agriculture, Nutrition and Health Academy Week here in Lilongwe and online. This event is co-hosted by the government of Malawi and Luana here at BICC, and of course online. I see many ANH Academy members in the room. We are very glad that you continue to enrich the ANH Academy with your participation and support. We see also quite a few new ANH Academy members, and to those of you who are just getting to know the ANH Academy, a very warm welcome. You wouldn't want to leave now that you have joined. This research conference is a part of the ANH Academy, which seeks to influence, strengthen, and catalyze interdisciplinary research in agriculture food systems for nutrition and health. Friends, as you all know, we are making patchy progress in this fight against undernutrition. At the same time, we are seeing disconcertingly steep increases in non-communicable diseases, many of them nutrition-related. Continued inequities in health and development outcomes and their determinants are still unacceptably high. Agriculture food systems, as the main source of food, employment, and income, must and should be central to this fight against all forms of malnutrition and human and planetary health risks. We are all here today as we are committed to delivering on our global, regional, and national commitments on food and nutrition security in a sustainable, equitable, and just way. We must realize these commitments against a rapidly changing landscape. And the landscape is changing rapidly in sometimes mutually reinforcing and sometimes in conflicting ways. For example, the governance of food system is changing globally. Inequities in power and its increasing consolidation just by a few affect our food justice, food environments, and opportunities for affordable and safe and nutritious diets. Climate change and indiscriminate destruction of planetary resources is nothing but alarming, threatening hard-earned gains in food production, food security, and food sovereignty. Global, regional, and local conflicts and our efforts to build resilient food systems beyond humanitarian aid remain rudimentary. Food and nutrition security concerns of displaced populations, whether they are internally displaced or refugees, remain tragically unaddressed still. Technology and rural transformation are affecting how information is consumed, preferences are formed, risks are negotiated, determining people's interactions with food systems, food choices, and consequently health outcomes. Those of us gathered here today are concerned with one profoundly important question. How do we guide changes in agriculture food systems to nourish the world's population in a way that is healthy, sustainable, equitable, and just? We are seeing unprecedented commitment from researchers, international agencies, governments, civil society, and donors to answer this question. ANH Academy furthers this idea of collaboration across disciplines, hierarchies, and geographies to inform evidence-based actions to solve these multitude of complex and interconnected challenges. The ANH Academy, with its multitude of committed partners, has been at the forefront of forging learning, sharing, and fostering innovative collaborations and dialogue. Delivering on our commitments of every single baby, child, and adult realizing their fullest potential for their well-being is doable. It is doable because the ANH community is passionate about bringing the best of what we know from various disciplines and communities of practice in a collective, coherent quest for feasible and effective solutions that are contextually appropriate and scalable. It is with this deep felt belief that several organizations came together through a series of global consultative processes to establish the Agriculture, Nutrition and Health Academy in June 2015. The vision for the ANH Academy was set in motion under a program which is a mouthful called the Innovative Methods and Metrics for Agriculture Nutrition Actions, IMANA, funded by the UK aid from the UK government and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation joining hands in 2019. The ANH Academy is one of the work streams of IMANA. The momentum for partnerships is growing, as is evident from the partnerships and collaborations to make this week happen. Now, Joe Yates will tell you a little bit more about the ANH Academy and what we do, and several of you have already been engaged. So here is a sneak peek of what we do, and we are happy to answer anything else through the week and of course, later as well. Joe, welcome.
Thanks, Sunita, and thank you everyone for coming. And just to echo the welcome from Alex to our esteemed guest, thank you so much for coming to open the event today. So as Sunita said, the ANH Academy is part of a large program called IMANA, which stands for Innovative Methods and Metrics for Agriculture and Nutrition Actions, which is comprised of 3 interlinking work streams: a competitive grants program, fellowships, and also the ANH Academy, which is this global community of researchers, practitioners, and policymakers around the world, of which you are now all members, and we welcome you to this group. The Academy has 4 interlinking goals, which are to build this community and to nurture this community over time, to help stimulate the development and harmonization of different types of research methods and tools, and strengthen the capacity of the community to undertake novel types of research inquiries together. And importantly, as we'll see this week, also we see it as a strong, we have a strong interest in helping to facilitate the uptake of research so that it doesn't just gather dust on shelves. And we'll be hearing more about that in our keynote speech next today. Oh, and clicker stop working. So the ANH Academy is a truly global academy. We have 8,000 members and counting in over 140 countries in the world, and we're very proud to say that over half of those, in fact more than 65%, are based across Africa and South Asia. It's a truly multidisciplinary group. We have people from all types of disciplines and sectors, and people working in many different types of implementation around the world and policy. And we have a strongly grounded roots in intersectoral work, and we are on a mission every day to lower barriers to participation in science and policy interfaces. We have many other things that the Academy does as well. So the Academy Week is our flagship event that happens every year. We've been running it since 2016, but we also have a multitude of things that you can get involved with. And I look around this room today, and I welcome our online participants as well, who are involved in many of these things that you see on the screen, ranging from support systems for lecturers and researchers around the world to connect the dots between data, methods, and tools, through to curriculum enrichment programs for educators, technical working groups where experts come together from different disciplines and harmonize approaches, and also a very vibrant mentoring scheme where over 30 people are matched together. And we'll be launching a new scheme soon in the coming months. So we welcome any potential mentees and mentors who would like to come forward to join us in this endeavor. So a little bit about the evolution of the ANH Academy Weeks. I'm looking around the room and I see many people who have been with us on this journey for either the whole journey or through just part of it. We started the Academy Week in 2016 in Ethiopia, and it was meant to be a small event with maybe 150 people, but we were overwhelmed when almost 400 people turned up and indicated that there was a real appetite for connecting together across disciplines and sectors. And so since then, we've been running the event every year. And between 2016 and 2019, it was purely in person, rotating between African and Asian countries to increase participation and lower barriers to participation. And in those events, we had almost 400 people on average every year and a multitude of co-hosting partners. In 2020, as you're all aware, our lives changed drastically, and we were all suddenly found ourselves in front of screens a lot more. And this was a big transition for us. We moved the event online. We were due to host the event here in Malawi in 2020, and we were extremely grateful for our partners for waiting for us until this time to come back. But in 2020 and 2021, we hosted purely online conferences, co-hosting with our colleagues in Pakistan. And in 2022, for the first time, we forayed into the tricky territory of hybrid conferencing. And we have great thanks to give to Scott Drimmy and Basiso Moyo and the team in South Africa for showing us how to do that really last year, for any of you who came for the first time. And so here we find ourselves now at the first true attempt at matching a very large audience in person with large audiences around the world. So we're really excited about this. And for any of you who have been with us along the journey, you'll have seen and you'll have helped us to innovate in conferencing that is accessible and equitable and environmentally friendly as we're on this journey together. As I say, between 2016 and 2019, we rotated between countries to increase participation. In 2018 and 2019, we tried for the first time to make our conference plastic-free, or at least single-use plastic-free, so that we could try and limit the impact on the local environments in which we were hosting. In 2020 and 2021, as I say, we moved online, but when we moved online, we really wanted to interrogate what that meant for our participants. It opened up a lot of doors for equity, and I'll show you in a minute what types of doors they were, but it also presented new challenges that we've been investigating. And we have a paper coming out on this very soon, which we thank, again, our audience for participating in and giving us the information we need to generate the data and increased understanding. As I say, in 2022, we tried for the first time to go hybrid, and it is tricky, and we were quite scared by that. And here we are today, terrified by the prospect of a fully hybrid event, but we're, again, very thankful that you're on this journey with us and you're all very understanding participants. So a couple of words about the online transition and why we find ourselves back in a room and the justification for that in the world we live in now with all the trade-offs that exist between aviation and moving around. I want to show you two graphs. So the first one here on the left shows you over time participation in our conference. And although you might not be able to see the detail, essentially you can see the bar graph rising rapidly in 2020, and that is when we moved online. So you can see that we had a huge gain in terms of the number of people who could engage in this conference and access all the benefits that it delivers. And importantly, you'll see the yellow bar at the top and the orange bar and the blue bars have all increased in size themselves. And they're the proportion of people in different country income levels. And we saw huge rises in lower income and middle income countries, people who could access the conference. And at the same time, this is historical data from 2016 to 2019, we saw that our emissions related to the conference were increasing, and they dropped off, obviously, in 2020. So this story is really positive. There's co-benefits for participation and for the climate. But what we also found in our more recent study is that I think we all would suspect is that you lose a little bit along the way when you move purely online. And so these are some quotes that we've taken from our recent study that's going to come out in focus groups. And I won't read them all, but you can see from some of the bolder parts that people feel that the loss of interaction or some different forms of interaction can be lost along the way. And we really encourage those of you who are in the room today to maximize the interaction that you're here for. And the people that are online, we've created spaces that we've tested over time that we think are good and can maximize online participation and interaction as well. And please, we welcome feedback. We're hoping to continually improve this event to make it more interactive and participatory. And so with that, I'll just say a few words about this specific conference, the ANH Academy Week 2023 here in Malawi. So we started last week with Learning Labs online, and we had over 25 Learning Labs, we had exactly 25, sorry, Learning Labs online and in person yesterday. And I'm glad to say we had over 1,700 different experiences of learning across that week period, which is fantastic. And we're really pleased, and we cannot thank our facilitators enough who give up their time and effort to do these learning labs for us and put on these experiences for participation around the world. 29 institutions, and of course, it takes an army of people to run this in the background, many of whom you'll see running around here, both online and in person. And we also like to break through the density of science, and we try and break it down and communicate it for different audiences. And these are some of the creations that our teams have put together and tried to bring some artistry to what they've learned in the sessions. And you'll see more of this in the next week as the sessions are portrayed in a more fun and dynamic way. So thank you to everyone who's been involved in putting these together as well. We in the Amana team and in the wider academy often refer to this conference as our baby, because we've been nurturing it now since 2016. And we are essentially just a group of researchers and research supporters at heart. And this conference we run as part of our program, but we have other things we're doing as well. And like any baby, and like the babies we are all trying to nourish for the future through our work together, it needs nourishing and it needs feeding. And the nourishment that this conference gets is really the goodwill that comes from the members of the academy. And as you can see on this screen, there's a huge number of people involved formally and informally. We have a scientific committee with over 60 members from around the world, representing 42 different institutions. We have an organizing committee with 41 members from 9 countries. And of course, this year we've been absolutely privileged to have the support of the government of Malawi through its technical working group, which comprises different groups from universities to the private sector to civil society across Malawi to guide us. And of course, Luana, our institutional partner, co-hosting partner. The baby does cry sometimes, and when the baby cries, we have to drop everything. So appreciate, if you see the baby crying this week, then just bear with us, and we'll be working things out often on stage in real time. So thank you in advance for working with us. And of course, thank you to all the speakers who bring their work and choose the Academy as a place to share their evidence and to learn from one another so we can continually move the needle forward. I want to say a quick thank you also, of course, to all of the institutional partners around the world, our funders, the many research programs, our Pan-African organizations who have supported us over many years, and of course, our Malawian colleagues here who have really helped us to put this program together and guide us at every single stage as to how we can make this event a success.